At 10:39 p.m. on October 9, 1963, 260 million cubic meters of Monte Toc detached from the mountain's northern flank. Within 45 seconds, the entire mass of rock and forest plunged into the reservoir below. The impact launched a wall of water over 200 meters high. This mega tsunami overtopped the dam and tore through the narrow Piave Valley at 80 kilometers per hour. Within 4 minutes, the town of Longarone was gone. The wave killed nearly 2,000 people, leaving behind nothing but a flat, silent plain of mud where a vibrant community had stood. In the wake of this total annihilation, investigators noted a striking paradox. The valley was erased, but the dam itself, the very source of the water, stood virtually undamaged. The Vajont Dam was the undisputed marvel of post-war Italian engineering. An 860-foot-high, double-curved arch, it was designed to be one of the tallest and most sophisticated structures of its kind in the world. This creates a central forensic mystery. If the world's tallest dam never actually broke, how did it cause the deaths of thousands? To find the answer, we have to look past the narrative of an unavoidable natural disaster. The evidence points to a catastrophic breakdown in systemic risk management. It suggests that even the most flawless engineering can become a weapon when the people managing it ignore the environment around them. While the concrete arch was structurally perfect, the geology of the valley was inherently flawed. The hydroelectric project was built directly into the side of Monte Toc, a peak known locally as the mountain that walks. This diagram shows the mountain's fatal composition. Thick layers of strong limestone rest on continuous, weak beds of smectite clay, identified here as layers C, D, and E. As the reservoir filled, water seeped deep into the mountain's porous rack, reaching the inclined clay layers at its core. This increased hydrostatic pore water pressure, physically pushing upward to reduce friction and turning the clay into a lubricated slip plane. By simply filling the reservoir to capacity, the engineers unknowingly greased the fault lines of the mountain, arming a geological weapon. Years before the disaster, geologist Eduardo Semenza discovered the slope was an ancient landslide scar. He warned that the old mass would reactivate if the reservoir level rose. Sade's management chose to move forward despite these geological findings. Instead, they focused on the structural math of the dam while ignoring the severe portfolio-level risk of the terrain itself. The warning signs were impossible to miss. In 1960, a landslide at the nearby Ponte Toc Dam created a 20-meter wave, and later that same year, 700,000 cubic meters of rock slid into the Vajont Reservoir. This graph maps the reservoir elevation levels against a failure envelope determined by precipitation. The operators believed they could stabilize the mountain by carefully adjusting the water levels to manage the rate of movement. The mountain did not respond to these controls. This table shows the rate of movement accelerating from millimeters per day in September to an incredible 80 centimeters per day by October 9th. As the danger grew, the response was suppression. When journalist Tina Merlin reported on the impending instability, the government sued her for spreading false alarm in an attempt to protect the project's reputation. Sade correctly identified the risk, but instead of abandoning the investment, they manipulated data and silenced critics until the mountain reached failure. On the night of the landslide, the dam's engineering saved the structure itself. The double curvature arch successfully pushed the massive lateral thrust of the tsunami outward, and the concrete transferred that energy directly into the solid rock of the canyon walls. In the immediate aftermath, the government and the utility company attempted to classify the event as an unforeseeable act of God to avoid liability. Public outrage eventually led to criminal trials. Executives and engineers were charged with manslaughter, as investigators proved that the catastrophic landslide was entirely foreseeable based on the monitoring data. There is a deep irony in the aftermath. The creators used the dam's flawless survival as an alibi, attempting to hide their geological negligence behind their structural success. The United Nations eventually cited the Vajont disaster as a cautionary tale of environmental catastrophe caused by human and scientific error. The dam remains exactly where it was built. It stands today as a towering, intact concrete arch, holding back nothing but dry dirt. It is a monument of fact that the greatest technological marvels are worthless if they are built upon a foundation of ignored warnings.